you want everyone to sign in?
If they could, please, that would be helpful.
Could you sign in and agenda to
Julie, did it start? Okay.
Yeah, because it says stop recording now.
Okay.
So I'm guessing that means it's starting.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want, everyone should sign in?
When they come up.
Okay.
When they come up. Good evening, my name is Mary Maslowski. I'm the Chair of the Historic District and Historical Commission for the Town of Harwich. We are calling to order the meeting for Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. It is 6 p.m. The meeting is being held in the small hearing room at Town Hall. We're going to start with a roll call.
Bob Doan?
Brennan Lowney.
Lynn Zalisak.
Julia Eldridge?
So we have, first I'd like to just give you the state's recording reminder that we are audio and video recording this meeting. If anyone in the audience is choosing to audio or video record the meeting, we ask that you notify the chair at this time. Hearing and seeing none, we are going to have, we've got 6 hearings on the agenda today. When your hearing is up, feel free to come forward and sit at this table, and we will ask when you go to speak if you would just sign into the log sheet on the front table. So we'll call to order the first public hearing. It is HH 2022-12. Sandra Wyckoff, owner, and Jeffrey Handler, applicant, have filed a notice of intent. The applicant proposes to construct a full basement under the house. The home is over 100 years old, according to the town's assessor's records. The subject property is 24 Freeman Street, map 14, parcel Z31-0.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for having us. I'm Jeff Handler. This is Sandy Wyckoff. And I'm here in a time where most are knocking down homes to build bigger ones. I think we want to do exactly the opposite at 24 Freeman Street. We would like to demolish a foundation that is failing and replace it with a proper foundation that will lend to the health and safety and longevity of this home, which you'll see why I brought Sandy. What year was it built? 1813. So that's why we are here tonight, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
All right. So who would like to start? Bob?
Sure. So I read in the letter here from Antonia Butwell,
Sure.
the architect. It looks pretty straightforward. I did note that it is mentioned that they will have a brick facing on the new foundation when you put it in, correct?
Yes, we will.
Yeah. And other than that, there's no other changes to the house other than the full basement, right?
Nothing.
Fine. That's all.
Actually, we'll be reducing the amount of some visible foundation.
Right.
And bringing that down to about 8 inches around and have the
Yep.
brick exactly as you stated.
Yep. That's all for me.
Okay. Anyone else?
No.
I think
Nope,
I'm
Brendan?
good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, it's a public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing none, then the chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move to close the public hearing.
Motion's been made by Bob,
Second.
seconded by Brendan. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. So we have, the chair would entertain a motion on the demolition delay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I move to determine that case number HH 2022-12, that it is, I don't know what the term is it approved? We approve it with no demolition delay imposed. The NOI filing date is 6/30/2022, date of hearing 8/17/2022.
it's actually,
Oh,
8/20,
yeah,
it's actually
Yep,
9/21.
9/21. And the property's 24 Freeman Street, map 14, parcel Z31, owner Sandra L. Wyckoff et al., Jeffrey S. Lang, applicant. Jeffrey Handler, BCRD recording information 23858-34. Subject building is over 10 years, 100 years old. Building age source is determined from the assessor's records. Demolition proposed partial, and the work is to be foundation, lift home, new foundation, and put a home back on new foundation, adding dehumidification. The history's significant. It's over 100 years old according to the assessor's records. I added that on the bottom of the sheet here. The proposed demolition would not destroy, substantially diminish the historic value significance of the subject building. No demolition delay period imposed. And the condition, the description of work is outlined in the letter from Antonia Bootwell, architect, dated April 19th, 2022, which would be part of this condition. Oh.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's this one. Is 750 Gorham Road. Okay. So we'll call to order the second hearing on our agenda. It is HH 2022-13. Douglas and Linda Gorham, owners, have filed a notice of intent. The applicant proposes certain demolition in the rear of the structure and to the breezeway on the northerly side. Additions with foundation, I think it's supposed to be alterations, and decking is also proposed. The home is over 100 years old according to the town's historic property inventory list. The subject property is 150 Gorham Road, map 24, parcel P1.
Good evening.
Good
How are
evening.
you? Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you for having us. I'm here with my wife Linda and our builder Chuck Beluga from Betterwood Homes.
Okay?
As you noted, we're here for a renovation on property at 150 Gorham Road in Harwich. The house, to the best of our knowledge, was built back somewhere in 1870. The Gorham family has occupied the home in one form or fashion, or various parts of the Gorham family, we believe, since the 1940s.
Okay.
The project consists of demoing the kitchen, expanding it, upgrading it a little bit. On top of the kitchen, there's also going to be a master bedroom, bath there. We also like to convert the breezeway into a hallway and mudroom, put a full foundation under that, and would also like to replace the deck as well and add a small porch out to the front of the house for the entryway. I've provided pictures and an overview of the property. A couple of things to note is that first of all is these pictures were taken back in the spring before there was any water ban, so the grass is a little bit greener than it is today, but we do support that, and it's much more, doesn't look quite as green today. The other thing is that on the first two pictures on the front of the document, over on the left-hand side, it shows a barn, what we refer to as a barn, and it's really a living room, kind of a family room, and part of a shop area. I only point that out because in some of the elevations you will not see that identified in actually I think on the second page. So just so that you know that that's a part of it. On the left elevation is not included in the visual.
Right, understood.
Other than that, the reason we're doing this is because we'd like to make it a full-time year-round house. Right now it's primarily a summer place for the family to come and enjoy. It doesn't have adequate heating or insulation. every fall we drain it and bring it back up to the summer standard come May or June. Other than that, any questions that I can answer for the board?
Sure, we'll start. Brendan, would you like to start this time?
I don't. I appreciate the packet, all the drawings, the pictures. I think I'm good.
Okay. Bob?
A couple questions. Of course, I remember when you came and redid that whole left-hand side, and
Yes.
came out very well. So, first of all, the windows on any new section, are they going to be the 6/6 lights, or are they? I noticed it looks like they're currently smaller, but
Yeah, I think the plan is right now is that we want to go with 6/6 and match as much as we can to the existing home.
okay, yeah, it's showing 6/6.
At least on the sides where you can see from the street.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
As far as the back building, we're not. So the breezeway, a little disappointed to see that go, but
Oh, gosh.
it's very characteristic of the
You can't
house.
believe the family who. Oh, gosh, yeah.
But is that actually going to be higher, the peak of that higher in the new addition, the new?
I believe it is, and
It
Chuck,
is.
keep me honest here, we may need to go back, but I think it's gonna be about a foot higher.
Okay.
Right now, the floor of the kitchen is about a foot higher than the existing floor of the breezeway right now. So the plan is to bring that level up, so it's just a no step down to it.
Okay. And that's going to be brought out with there'll be a new, like, porch there with the columns.
That's
So
correct.
it'll come out.
Yes.
And it looks like with the new plan, that back part will still indent just a little bit to show a shadow effect there.
Yeah,
That- That's good. The only other comment I had was, there is brick currently around that foundation, and when you put on that new addition, there's only going to be a short part, but, you'd like that to be veneered with brick, so it looks continuous on that side, and likewise on the other side, if it can be done.
Understood, and I think
Yeah.
we'll work with Chuck on that.
Yeah. I think that's it for me.
All right. Lynn, anything?
Oh, he hit my question.
Okay. Julie?
Yeah, same here.
All right, again, we're in a public hearing. Is there anybody in the public that wishes to comment or ask a question?
I can just
Great.
simply say I was on the board when you did the plume field, you did a great job.
Thank you. That was Chuck who did it. Thank you. Yeah.
I spent some time there once.
Yes.
Any other comments? Hearing none, the chair would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move.
Motion's been made by Julie. Is there a second?
Lynn did it, I seconded it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lynn, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was kind of quiet.
Is there a second?
Second.
Julie said.
All right, so here I am. All right. So Lynn and Julie, all those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, Chair would entertain a motion on the application. Bob, would you like to take a stab at
Sure.
it again?
Yes, I move that we do not impose a delay on this, and to read the text out loud here, case number HH 2022-13, filing date 7/19/2022, date of hearing 9/21/22, location 150 Gorham Road, map 24, parcel P-1, owner Douglas and Linda Gorham, applicant Douglas and Linda Gorham, BCRD recording information 28302-278. Building is over 100 years old. Building agent source, use determining age, assessor records, and town historic property list. Demolition proposed partial. Described work, the back section of the house be expanded and renovated, breezeway to be updated and connected to the barn, add mudroom, entryway, and stairway. Historic significance, building is historically significant and is listed in the town historic property inventory. The proposed demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value, significance of the subject buildings. Demolition, no demolition delay imposed. This termination should be valid for up to 2 years following the date of its issuance hereunder. Conditions, new foundation to be brick clad on north and south sides.
Brick veneer.
Brick veneer, okay.
On north and south.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So motion's been made by Bob. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded by Brendan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get Trevor out.
All right. The next item on our agenda is the public hearing for HH 2022-14. Sam Speakman, owner, and Trevor Meyer, applicant, have filed a notice of intent. The applicant proposes certain demolition of the 2 rear portions of the structure and the easterly wall of the front structure. The applicant proposes construction of an attached 2-car garage and a new addition at the rear. The home is over 100 years old according to the town's historic property inventory list. The subject property is 134 Miles Street, map 23, parcel 3. Good evening.
Good evening, my name is Trevor Meyer, agent for the owner, Sam Speakman.
Okay, thanks for coming in. If you want to just go over briefly.
Sure. So the project at 134 Miles Street consists of a Cape-style structure with an addition to the rear. In addition to the rear, we believe was added on after the original house. We believe the original house is the 27 by 22 Cape that is the most forward section of the house. The intention of the project is very similar to the last applicant. New foundation, upgrade the home to energy performance standards, make it a year-round home, take it out of the rental market basically is what it is now. So we're looking to do a lot of upgrades, and we believe that we have done a mimic of a gable that faces the street with the garage, so they're basically emulating each other. All the details that are present on the old portion of the house, the 1800s portion, in regards to the trim details on the exterior, the large corner posts, will all be maintained and carried through to the new addition as well. You will be lifting the 27 by 22 main portion of the structure, and basically the rest will be new construction. The intention is to clad the foundation, anything that's exposed with natural boulders, basically a veneer, put a shelf in it and mimic an old rubble foundation. But likely and largely in part, all the products will be new on the building, but the historic idea and significance of it will be maintained and replicated. Would like to make one notation that the plans show 6/6 window grills. The applicant in the specifications that I put would like to do 2/2. We believe both are similarly historic in nature, but that would just be one notation to point out.
Okay, who'd like to start? Lynn, would you like to start this time, or you want to?
Trying to figure out how much of this is going to How much of the change would be visible from the street?
From a demolition perspective, maybe down the right-hand side, starting from the entry door that is shown in the right elevation to the back. But largely in part, it will be new, but it's very similar. Looks like the existing.
Yeah, it's easier. There we go. Yeah.
The one item being removed on that elevation is the small little doghouse dormer that's on the second floor. Which again, we believe is beyond original portion of the house. We don't believe it was
Yeah.
the true original.
That's okay. I don't know what they do.
What are you looking for? I can help you.
No, we're figuring it out.
Yeah, right, if you look at the front.
Yeah,
I have some
yeah,
other-
this is the back, this is the front, yeah.
Yeah, that's this portion here, right?
Right.
That's the back.
That's,
Right, this is.
no, this is the front.
That's the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the new garage addition will
Right.
will step forward, like
Yep.
2 feet or so in
Correct.
front of the house.
Oh, I think it's a lot more than that.
It's
isn't
more
it?
than,
It's
it's
more
more
Yeah,
than
more
2
than
feet.
that.
Yeah, look at the floor.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Substantially more.
Yeah. How close to the street is that gonna be?
It's approximately 40 feet. Still complies with the setback and everything.
Yeah, the house is set back. quite
Yeah,
a
we
bit.
were trying to offset the
Right.
two.
Bob, what questions do you have? Because my thoughts generally flow right along yours.
Okay, that's fine. Bob, you wanna go next?
Yeah, I am now a little bit concerned on when you say you want to change the windows. Are you putting in new windows in the original part,
Oh, I see.
We are,
the front?
yes.
And how about the door?
Yeah, he's talking
Side
about these
lights?
windows.
So the door will be new, but it will mimic what is there.
Because right now, the door has lights overhead.
Correct.
No, it doesn't.
It has lights
Oh.
in the door, in the top panel of the door.
That's the new door.
No, that's the existing door. It does not have lights over top of the door. That's
Only
just a
on side,
trim
right.
profile detail.
Yeah, no, it's not turned on those.
And we will be maintaining the triangular shaped window at the peak, so we won't be able to get that.
Any reason why they want to go 2/2? I mean, it's a big change.
It was just a preference. I don't think it had any, value other than knowing that, in a historic element, 2/2 and 6/6 kind of run parallel in historical older homes. So, it was a preference.
Yeah. And do you have specification on the windows you're going to use? Are they included here somewhere?
They're in the specification sheet, but Anderson 400 series. Simulated divided spacer block.
It's inside the window.
Inside and outside, actually full divided light with a spacer bar. So yes.
So the grills are applied.
Oh, there are, on the outside.
Yeah, it's called like full divided light. They change
Yeah.
it from simulated divided light to full divided light. But you'll have the applied grills with a spacer bar in between.
Okay.
That's kind of what we've been talking about the last
Is it?
like 2
Then
years.
that's
Yeah.
what we've been
Yeah,
preferring, right?
yeah.
Okay.
It's just the regular 400 series.
Yeah, they're definitely the most replicated look of an older window. You have the interior applied, exterior applied, and a spacer bar between. In my opinion.
Yeah. I do want to note that garage is very substantial and will dwarf the house because it's so brought out so far. It'll really dwarf the house, I think. That's I don't have any issue with removing the back part of the house that's added on later. And usually it's poor construction anyways.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
I think our intention with the gable was to we felt like it was a prominent feature of the gable facing the street, so we felt like mimicking it was the best solution, other than turning a massive amount of roof space to face the street, so. And they're very close to the same width
Yeah.
as each other.
Yeah.
Not exact, but they are close to each other.
That's all I have for this moment.
All right, Brendan?
I think it looks great. I mean, I know, you know what, to Bob's point, I get it, but, you know, it really talks to, like, the roof pitches to me work, the dormers work, the returns, everything about it. I think it's, you know, as good as it gets, you know,
Yeah.
as far as being presented. I think if someone came with something lesser, we would probably get to this point. I think it's spot on, especially if you're duplicating all of those rake returns. I think it's pretty sharp. 2/2, you know, there's 6/6 there now, but I could go either way on the
Yeah.
2/2. I think it's
Yeah.
fine. Anderson Forest Series is really terrific.
So the only, Julie, did you have anything?
I'm just trying to get my bearings on.
Okay.
This is the front entrance.
So my only comment is that
Yeah,
the windows, if you were changing the style of the windows, really should have been included in the, because unless if it's like for like, then we don't have to see them. But if it's not, and a 2/2 replacing a 6/6 wouldn't necessarily have been
So
a
the
like
only
for
thing
like.
it's noted on the specification sheet, it's not
Okay.
replicated on the drawing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, you know,
Yeah,
if we need to
it is.
follow up with,
All right.
On that.
you know,
Yeah.
a separate drawing package at a later date just for the file, we can do that.
I think we should be fine,
Yeah, we can just do it as a condition.
Yeah.
right? Yep.
Another question, are you removing the chimney?
We are not.
Good.
Anything else from the board? So I will ask if we're in a public hearing again, any questions or comments from the public? Is the board ready to close the public hearing, or do you still have some questions? We'll need some time. We good?
Yeah.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Is this a motion?
Okay, Julie's made the motion. It's been
Second.
seconded by Bob. All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. All right. Would like to take a stab at the,
I'll do this one.
all right.
Motion to approve HH 2022-12, filing date.
That's actually 14.
It's 14.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's not
It
changed.
was an
All right,
error,
I
it
know.
was a typo.
Filing date 9/21/22. Property located at
No,
134
it's
Mile
actually,
Street.
sorry.
Sorry?
The filing date was 7/19/2022.
Sorry.
And then there's a hearing, date that's 9/21. Oh, do we
I
have?
might have the wrong sheet.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
No, I think she's got the right one.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, this is something else. 134 Mile Street. Owner Sam Speakman. Applicant Trevor Meyer. BCRD 34580-266. The building is 100 years old. Demolition proposed. Partial, brief description of work. Existing elevation facing the rear to remain 27 by 22. Two rear portions is to be removed and closely replicated and rebuilt. Create an addition to the left side of the existing structure, which will include a two-car garage, primary bedroom and bath, with bath hall entry. Details of main house will mimic all new addition. Historic significance, it is listed in the town historic property inventory, 100 years or older. The building would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value or significance of the subject's building. Determination is no demolition delay period is imposed. Conditions, just to note, going from 6/6 to 2/2 on the window. Different from the drawings, but in the specification sheet. Any other conditions?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Anything else, Bob?
No?
All right. So we've had a motion by Brendan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lynn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you. All right. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing for HH 2022-15, Benjamin Bourne, owner, and James Norcross Esquire. Applicant have filed a notice of intent. The applicant proposes to construct a covered porch to the front of the building. The home is over 100 years old. According to the town's assessor's records, the subject property is 968 Route 28, map 34, parcel W2.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Norcross. I represent Benjamin and Jacqueline Borney, owners of the property. Here with me tonight is Christopher Billick, who is the contractor for the project. You probably remember this property was before you earlier this year for all of the work being done at the house, with the exception of the covered porch. At that time, we couldn't go forward with you on the covered porch portion of the project because we had to get a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals. So we were fortunate enough to get the variance from the zoning board. So we're back tonight asking for approval to construct the covered porch. Your packet should have the covered porch highlighted, I believe, in yellow or orange, so you can see where we're speaking about on the front of the building facing 28. I've also included some photographs that were taken. I'm not sure of the exact date, but these, at least 1950 or earlier, Chris, is that the photos? If not further back. So essentially you can, original. So you can see the house used to contain a covered porch. So the goal for the Borneys is to replicate that feature by including the covered porch. So we think it's really a nice addition to the property and restoring it more so to its historic look from the past. So that'll be our presentation tonight, and happy to answer any questions.
All right, great. Any questions? Brendan, you want to start us off this time?
Yeah, existing door, not to be used, you have a new door going in? Is that
Say that again?
the front door? Is that saving the existing door?
New door.
New door. And, and switching from 6/6 to 6/1,
That's correct.
and the window specification?
Those would have been included with the prior filing, I believe, from the
Yeah,
previous hearing.
Marvin?
It's Marvin.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't include those with this filing, but
The Marvin,
Yep,
Integrity.
correct.
They changed the name on that, didn't they?
They did.
Whatever it is, yeah, it's a new name, okay. That's like the middle line window.
That's correct, yeah.
What's that?
All right, Bob.
No, I have no additional questions.
All right. Lynn?
The porch style is it basically the same as what's in the pictures?
Chris, do you want to speak on the design? Similar to the pictures?
That's correct.
Okay.
Duplicating.
Okay, because I see in one picture,
Well,
it has a, like a,
So that lattice feature almost?
yeah.
yeah, and in the other picture it doesn't.
I don't believe it would have a lattice feature. So it'd be similar to the,
No rail system up top.
Okay, no rail system. So, like this one then.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. That's my only question.
All right, Julie? All right. Again, we're in a public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none. Is the board ready to close the public hearing?
I move to close the public hearing.
So Bob has moved to close the public hearing. Is there a second? Julie, that was you this time, right? All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. All right. I'd like to take a stab at that.
I'll do it.
Bob?
Sure.
Marvelous.
I move to approve case number HH 2022-15, NOI filing date 7/22/2022, date of hearing 9/21/2022, property, it's map 34, parcel W2, owner Benjamin Bourne and Jacqueline Savage Bourne, applicant James M. Norcross Esquire, BCRD recording information, book 33365, page 103. Subject of the building is at least 100 years old. Building age and source determined age 1815 town assessors list. Demolition proposed partial. Briefly describe work. Add porch similar to what was originally on the building. Historic significance, building is historically significant and listed in the town historic property inventory. The proposed demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value or significance of the subject buildings. Determination, no demolition delay period imposed. This determination shall be valid for up to 2 years following the date of issuance that you're under. Conditions, no added conditions.
Did you want to
Well,
note
we
the
should note
windows?
the windows.
But is that being done now, or was that approved last time?
Oh, was it approved last time?
I think it was.
I think
think
Was
it
it
was.
everything
Oh, I'm
except-
sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
missed that, yeah.
Yeah, because it was all the window and the
Right.
siding
It's
and
just for the
everything.
porch.
Yeah.
It's just that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by Bob, seconded by Lynn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Thank
for
you.
coming
Two,
back.
thank you.
Okay. And the next hearing on our agenda we'll call to order is HH 2022-16. It's Danny Mace Carews, owner, and Teddy Nora, applicant, who have applied for a certificate of appropriateness to add a canopy to the building or structure in the Harwich Center Historic District. The subject property is 729 Main Street, map 41, parcel D1-2. Good evening.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Good.
So if you wouldn't mind walking us through your application?
Any questions?
Would you like to walk us through the application or just tell us a little bit about it?
Application.
What's that? Okay.
Yeah. Any question, I'm ready.
All right,
Need a-
you go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Is there a fire suppression system needed for this?
No, sir, because it's full service. At the full service, we don't put fire suppression, we put fire extinguisher at the post between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
you
full
don't,
service, always somebody there.
oh, because it's full
Yeah,
service.
just
I
for
got
the
you.
self-service, the fire extinguisher.
Okay, good. The one thing is that I don't see really a description of the materials. In fact, I mean, it looks like everything is either metal, 20 gauge metal.
It's gonna be metal and wood, shingles. The roof, the upper is gonna be shingles. I'm doing my best to be like
Right.
historic, you know. and the post, or it's gonna be metal for sure. No vinyl, nothing, and all white,
Yeah, and the shingles will be
Wood.
natural wood?
natural wood, yes.
Cedar? Is
Yes,
that what
yes,
it is?
correct,
on-
yeah.
On the thing, it doesn't say it in the specifications, so
Sorry.
that's a little concerning. Now, the size of it, it shows a map here. It looks, I don't know how accurate this is to your scale, but
It's gonna
it
be-
looks like it's really wide.
It's over the concrete, it's standard.
So
Like,
it's,
like 25 by 30, over the concrete should be, over the pumps.
mhm.
It's 25 by 30, the concrete.
That's the concrete pad
Yes,
that goes
correct,
around the
yes,
pumps?
Yes, yes.
So it's that same size?
Yeah, it's a standard for everywhere, all the gas stations. And it's away from the street, 13.5 feet. From both corners. And the middle is 17, 17.
So do you need any permitting besides from historic in order to construct that?
No.
With the building department, it's just a straight building permit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this isn't going to block, because it's right there on the corner, isn't going to block the view of traffic in any
Of course
way?
not, it's gonna be high because it's,
How high?
it's a standard also, should be,
It
It's
says it.
11 feet 4. Yeah, 11.4.
Where do
Yeah.
you see that? I-
clear.
It's on this diagram right
Yeah, it
here.
looks like a lot of.
Clear from
To the
the, yeah,
lower
from
right.
the ground to the, yeah.
And I see something that says clearance is 15 feet.
This, there is a foot or a foot and a half between, because the level is, from the top to the,
Understood.
yeah.
Yeah, that's to the top.
Understood,
Oh, right.
okay. Okay. So white metal posts,
All white. And the shingles is gonna be cedar,
and then the cedar shingles
Yeah,
on
3
top
feet.
on top of the,
3 feet. like
and
this.
it's, I'm assuming it's a metal top that's gonna be.
The flat roof.
Okay. All right.
The only thing, I would certainly would rather see a better rendition of how it'll look. Doesn't the company, if you're doing like the shingle part, don't they have any pictures that they
Of
can
course,
send
we're
that
gonna
look
do-
like that?
We're gonna do that, sir, because just if I need pre-approved that to go forward for, architect and all the other things,
Okay.
because,
So sometimes it's easier for us to see the pictures of what they look like before we approve them. So I think that's the concern my colleague's coming from, to see
Yeah.
what it would actually look like with the scale and the shingles on top.
yeah, not represented.
Has the company done any with shingles on it that they would have pictures of?
No, not yet. No,
Really?
not yet.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, I looked at Cumberland
They asked-
Farms and they put real shingles on, but they're not
exactly, it's
wood.
gonna be,
But they use the-
95% like the.
It's similar to that.
Yes,
But it'd be
yes.
wooden shingles instead of,
Even 100% is gonna be the same.
well,
let's see.
those are asphalt shingles.
Oh, no, it's gonna, yeah,
These would be wood shingles
No.
adhered.
wood shingles,
it.
yeah. But the design is gonna be the
But the
same.
design
yeah.
is similar?
It's gonna be the same.
Trying to find the picture of Cumberland Farms.
I know.
Sorry about that, Lucy.
Well, being in a historic district, of course, we're
Of course, I'm,
concerned.
of course.
Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look very similar to that, without the fire suppression system.
They have self-service because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you guys would.
You really can't see it, yeah.
Yeah, fine.
So, okay.
Yeah, we picked up on that.
I mean, I think I'm fine with it as long as it's got cedar shakes on it,
cedars, yes, sure.
instead of the asphalt
Cool.
shingles.
No asphalt.
Any other comments or questions from the board?
Just a question about, like, maybe in the past, I remember this coming up. Was there ever an issue about this being done before, and there was pushback from the public about having a canopy, afraid it was gonna go self-serve, but it's gonna stay full-serve? Was there something ever about that, or?
I don't remember anything.
By law,
personally.
if we turn it self-service, by law, state law, we have to put fire suppression, by law. Otherwise they don't approve.
But your intent is just to keep it
Yeah.
as full serve.
Full serve, yeah,
Just-
of course.
It's just to keep everybody dry during the rain. Understood.
No, to be honest, all the customers, nice people, and they say, we don't come when it's raining because we don't want you to go.
Don't want you to get wet.
So that's why I'm trying to help them and keep the business running.
Understood. If there are no other questions, do you have anything else?
No. I would like to hear from public.
Okay.
Yeah, me too, that's no.
Yep. Again, we're in a public hearing, so any questions or comments from the public? Greg?
I'd like to first acknowledge that Tony's a great guy, friend.
Thank you.
I'm an immediate abutter. We own Thatcher's Forge, the old Red Barn, which is a focal point of Bank Street. And I came into town hall and went to the building department, and I was not comfortable with the plan as presented because I don't think there's enough detail. And I trust Tony, but I have a couple of issues because I'm simultaneously trying to work out a plan to restore Thatcher's Forge and hopefully not have to take it down. And I don't have the ability to raise the building and put a foundation under it because a previous owner was given zoning relief to use the land under Thatcher's Forge as a leaching field. So I have a hardship there, number one. Number two, I'm very concerned that if Tony at some point in time should sell this property, we've denied, when I was on the board, the canopy that was proposed to go on the Main Street old gas station. And unfortunately, the decision of the owners was made to sell the real estate because they couldn't have self-serve gasoline in a historic district. So this does have history. And I think it should be studied a little further, and we should have some more details, in my opinion, before an approval is made. I also have some issues with some of the historic colors, the bright blue, that sort of thing. I mean, my barn is historic red, so I have issues like that. I'm not opposed, I would just like to see more details. That's just, and I think Tony would be willing to do that.
Of course, it's gonna be all white, and of course, it's gonna be more details, and the shingles, like we said, cedars and wood cedars.
Any other comments from the public?
I'm just concerned that if it's approved and it's not automatic in your decision or in any other town decision, that at some future time, it could become self-serve.
But Greg, you know
No.
that's a risk with all property everywhere. You could sell the barn and do something else with the barn, so, you know, it's, that's not something that we can really,
No.
I
that we
think that
can,
would still have to come in front of the board.
so,
If someone's gonna put a suppression system.
again, it's in the historic district, so anything that is done in the historic district requires a certificate of appropriateness before a building permit can get issued. So if a canopy gets installed, a replacement canopy, anything else is gonna have to come before us as far as the
Suppression system.
the town historic district is concerned. So I understand Greg's concerns, but you know, I personally don't think we can focus on the
Correct.
barn
No.
on the relative to the
I'm just trying
canopy.
to point out the fact that I'd like to make it flow,
Understood.
so that it looks when you come around the corner, that the white lights of the gas station don't match the amber lights of the Winstead Inn. And I would love to bring that together, you know, that kind of thing.
Any color you want it, we do it.
No, I'm not trying to be.
You
negative, I'm just
you know me very well.
I know, I just finished installing amber lights in the seal because I couldn't stand the lights down there. All different white lights, you know, so I just put 35 new amber lights in there.
Understood.
So those are the things that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the main street of Harwich Center. It's been I spent 30 years on this place. So, you know.
Because it will have lighting, correct?
Oh yeah, just two. The same one we have it now, gonna, yeah. not more, no.
So what's the pleasure of the
And
board?
excuse me.
I'm sorry?
No.
No, we haven't. We haven't. Do you have comments?
Yeah, thank you. Leo Kunis, I am not a abutter. I'll just sign this, so you have my name. I do
Please and thank you.
frequent the gas station, though I buy my gas there. I would like to see the board approve this. I had a conversation with Tony a little bit, and I'll have to tell you, I kind of agree that I wish I had the schematic in front of me. But this is reality. This man's not a large conglomerate. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's trying to go through the steps and stages of getting this permit. I think there'll certainly be ample time for neighbors, and I can understand his concern, wanting it not to be completely detrimental to what he's trying to do, and certainly to Harwich Center. I would like to tell you, though, when I was in college, I did a paper, and I wish I could find it. I did research on us leaving the front porch and building rear decks, and how that affected society. The last gentleman that you had before you approved the front porch. I bet you don't approve many front porches. They're just something that we don't build anymore. We are not a front porch society. I think you'll agree with me that when the original courthouse was there was a covered porch that went along the front of it, and there was store entries and the entry to the courthouse. We tried to duplicate that with the Cumberland Farms there, the little market that's set back. They made them put a porch on it, probably you're doing because you were on the board at that time. Which for Harwich Center I think is wonderful. The building next to it that they just built in there is, you know, modern, flat. Okay, it's not historic, but it's not what Harwich Center is about. I believe this canopy can actually become, with your help, an addition to an historic feature. Think about what 6A looked like back in the 1800s. Every single house on 6A had some kind of a canopy, a covered porch, where they brought their old wagons in and under. That's what you guys are here to do, try to encourage and promote that historic nature. I think if Tony does this and does this in a manner where it will meet the requirements and satisfy your concerns with the historic area, I think it would be a huge plus for the town, I really do, historically. Never mind the fact that I won't have to get wet when I come gas, and neither will his other customers. But seriously, we're here tonight because of the historic nature of it, and I think it definitely can be worked out. I would like to see the board approve it, maybe approve it with a condition of final approvals of color and wood grain. Again, it's going to have to go for a building permit and go through some more building processes, so I think there'll be occasions to take bite of the apples. But ironically, you mentioned lighting, and it was interesting because it's one of the things that I was going to actually think about too. Instead of having the harsh white lighting, maybe we can work something out, working with, you know, changing it to kind of, I don't know what they call it, an amber light or something, because that is going to also affect the look of it when it's done. But I absolutely would like to see you approve it, and so this gentleman can move forward, get some additional information as he goes forward, and make everybody, especially the neighbors, feel comfortable with it.
So here's my only concern with this, approving it tonight without him having the opportunity to check into the amber lights and do that, is that if we close the public hearing, he's gonna have to reapply to change anything on the application. Whereas if we push it for a month and give him the opportunity to do that, to talk to Greg, to talk to some of the neighbors, to look into the pricing on those lights, we could come back and then have a plan with conditions that he can then go to the building department for. They're not gonna give him a building permit without our final approval first. So that's the only place I'm coming from if people aren't kind of set and ready with exactly what he's brought forward. Greg?
It's almost the same
Well, I
difference.
totally agree. As I said, Tony's a wonderful neighbor, and I agree with everything Leo said. We definitively have to make some changes as we go along to continue what we've accomplished in the village. Clearly, the new market and the time that was put into the design of that market, they came back, I think, 3 or 4 times to this board. And ultimately, I think a wonderful choice was made, and the style fits with the village. What Tony's doing is, and Tony's personality it's home. I love it. I would just love to see the lighting change. I really think that we need to have more details as to exactly what the canopy's gonna look like. From what I saw from the building department, it was a little unclear to me.
It's a sketch.
So I would like to see it move forward, but at the same time, I think, would it be too much of a hardship to go one more hearing to get the details?
Well, and that's exactly what I'm, that's
For the
what,
same ones.
that's kind of what we're
I'd be more
saying.
comfortable too.
Do a
I think,
continuance.
as much as I'm in
I mean, I'd
favor
love
of
to have
a,
it for the winter, but I want it to be right.
well, and again, my concern is if we approve it with conditions that he then has to change, then he's got to reapply and come back and go through this whole process again. So,
Yeah.
did you have something, Leo?
No, I think you're going
Yeah.
the right way. I think you're.
As a poll survey, is anyone opposed to the canopy? Because I think if the applicant leaves here getting a good feeling that there's no strong opposition to
This
it,
is the,
that he can certainly meet the requirements that we all were talking about. And if
So,
that's the situation.
I'll be honest, I'm fine with the canopy as long as it has some details on it to complement. I don't know how many of you know what the Patels are doing on the other buildings on the street. So they are going to build a new front to the existing, not the new building, but the existing building where the liquor store is. They're renovating the two buildings beside it. We spent a lot of time with them on a couple of hearings. So we're making progress down the street. So we don't want to lose the progress that we've made down the street with a metal canopy. And I think I love the fact that he's, that he's agreeing to put cedar shakes on it. 'Cause I think that's what, that's at least one step in the right direction. And it's hard to make a canopy look historic. We had the same problem on planning board and in this board when the pavilion was going in Brooks Park. The original one that came before us looked like it belonged on the Mass Turnpike. So we came back a number of times. So it's not something we haven't seen before, even though it was, another location. What are the thoughts of the board?
I would just like to ask if they come back and you go to the company and ask them, certainly they've done with the wooden shakes and stuff, and they should be able to give you pictures of what that would look like and maybe a better rendition. I'm sure they do that. And the light is a very important feature. A description light and what kind of bulb is in it. I assume it's going to be LED. I would assume, and that's fine. But there's different
Maybe just the
heat
lens.
ranges.
no, just nothing's gonna change about the lights. The lights, I have it here, I have it
Oh.
now. It's gonna be the same. I'm gonna move it up.
Okay.
That's it. Nothing changed about the lights. It's gonna be the same. And about the shingle, just the shingle. It's not about the company, sir. It's about the architect. It's about
Oh, is
me.
it?
They will ask me how
Okay.
you want it, it's because historic, and they know the site, and that's why they told me how you want it, how you like to do it.
Okay.
That's it.
So your lights are going to be underneath the canopy?
underneath
Oh, yeah.
the canopy, yes.
But they're the same
That's it.
lights you have
The
now.
the same one, nothing.
Okay, so
nothing else.
that's part of the comment that Greg's talking about having
Yeah,
amber
the
lights.
same one, Greg. It's
So-
gonna be the same, nothing.
But that's, I think, a disconnect between the two of you. So he's looking to see if you would change the bulb and have it be more an amber glow bulb as opposed to a bright white bulb. So I think you should perhaps talk to your architect and have him price that out for you so that you would know what the difference might be.
No problem.
And then,
No problem. But, sorry.
Can we do a continuance of this?
Yeah.
we absolutely can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our next meeting would be the third Wednesday in October, which is, if somebody helps me, because I
Yeah,
don't know
I'm
that
getting it right
I
now.
have my calendar up.
It's
I want to say it's like the 18th,
the 19th.
the 19th. So are you okay if we continue? That'll give you an opportunity to kind of flesh that out. I think, am I correct in speaking for the board that pretty much everybody's,
Personally, I'd feel much better with more detail.
Yeah.
but is there anybody that's vehemently opposed to a canopy in general?
No.
No.
All right, so I think you've got general support.
Thank you.
It's just some details
Thank you.
that hopefully you can work out with your architect in the next month and come back to us.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you can, any pictures or other information, it's helpful to have that the week before the hearing so that it can be included in our packets.
Sure.
So that being said, we will keep the public hearing open, so I would entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to Wednesday, October 19th, we said?
Yes.
No earlier than 6 PM?
So moved.
Yes.
All right, motion's been
Second.
made by Lynn, seconded by Bob, to continue.
All set?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Yeah.
opposition? Hearing none, your hearing is continued until October the 19th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. The next matter on our agenda is HH, it's again a public hearing, 2022-17. It's Peter and Marcia Malone, owner and applicant. They filed a notice of intent. The applicant proposes to demolish a chimney and utility room. The home is over 100 years old according to the town's assessor's records. The subject property is 27 C Street, map 7, parcel D9. I'm assuming they're in the hallway.
Well, Bill just said he's going to get his guy.
Okay. So we'll hang on for a second.
There he is.
There's his, is that his guy?
That's the
Oh, hello, guy.
He's going to get his guy.
Everybody's got a guy, don't they?
So, sir, we just opened the public hearing for 2022-17.
Thank you. Mr. Malone is coming in. We have visuals.
Fabulous.
With me.
All right.
Recent law school graduate with me.
Recent.
Great.
We like that.
He told me to,
He gave you some years back, huh?
He told me to say that. Bring up another chair, please.
Yes, I apologize. It's cold in here tonight.
You've had a long night, so we'll hopefully not take too much of your time and that you'll like what we have to say.
We hope so too.
I'm Attorney William Kroll from Harwich Port. Good evening, and represent Peter and Marcia Malone. Peter's here with me, who are the owners of 27 C Street. They've owned it for about 31 years now. And it's right near Sail Loft Road. And I say that because originally, this property was a sail loft. So we submitted a picture from the 1800s. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Like it, Bill.
Yeah.
That's from the steeple of Pilgrim Church. And I'll give you a little background, because I am not a recent law school graduate. But back in the old days, in the 1800s, this was a lumberyard, right behind where the modern theater was.
Did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
So this was a lumberyard. It was owned by Watson B. Kelly and Watson B. Eldridge and Shubile Kelly. And they had a lumberyard there because at the end of C Street, where the ocean, there was kind of a deep hole, they had three-masted sailing vessels that sailed all over the world, and they brought lumber in to that lumberyard. My great-grandfather, Ralph Eldridge, didn't know we were related, did you? Ralph Eldridge, in the late 1800s, when he was 11, went to sea as a cabin boy and sailed from one of those schooners to Australia. When he was 11.
That was a long trip back in those
It
days.
was a long trip. I think he was 18 when he got back.
That's
but,
crazy.
so it gives you an idea that, yes, this was actually a sail loft. And a sail loft is where you construct, make sails, and you have to have room for the booms and so forth, and the turret that you see there. We're not touching that beautiful turret.
Good.
In all of this. So it gives you a little background as to what was going on with C Street in the old days. And the arrow is pointing to the Malone house. But it was originally a barn sail loft, no chimney on it, wasn't a residence. Okay? So what we're asking to do, and Mr. or Mrs. Malone had submitted an application for a building permit, is to remove the deck, and I'm going to hand out to you some 3 pictorials.
Good.
Right. Makes it
Thank
easier
you.
for
Yes,
us to
it certainly does.
visualize.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bob.
And why don't you take the, why don't you unveil the
dollhouse?
the dollhouse, if you would. You spent a lot of time making this.
Yeah,
Do we have an architect in the family?
not quite, but just some ideas, okay?
Oh, wow, look at that.
So that's going to show you what it's going to look like when you look at those pictorials. This is the front here.
So that's the C Street side.
That's going to remain unchanged. That's the C Street side. Okay, and then on this side, there's an existing deck. When you look at the petition, the pictures that were submitted with the petition, you'll see the photographs. So there's a deck here, existing. He's going to remove that deck and then build out under it, right? Get rid of those 3 ugly pilings that were there and get rid of the chimney and the shed. So this is coming out and going to fill out under the deck. He's going to rebuild a new deck. And then on the back of the house, this is coming out 20 feet here. So when you look at the picture of the back of the house, there's a shed on the back here. That's going. And then this is all going to be built out here with the same sliders underneath. But this is coming out 20 feet. And this all still meets zoning setbacks, so he doesn't need a variance or go to the Board of Appeals or anything. But because the house was built, the structure was built in the 1850s or so, that's why we're here, of course. So they'll be putting in, lifting the house and putting in a full foundation. It's built on like 2.5 foot, 2 feet of bricks. If this is sounding familiar, it sounds like the house in Harwich Center. So lifting it, but not moving the house. It's going to stay where it is. Replace the deck, put the addition on under the deck, put a brick veneer around the foundation. We know you like brick veneers, okay?
You listen.
I listen. I listen non-judgmentally, trying to give you feedback. Move the utilities to the basement, and add on the 20-foot addition on the back of the house. So, also, while I'm handing, I want to hand these out as well. And Peter and Marsha Malone bought the old Brewster Garage on 124 and 6A, and they developed it into the Seaport Shutter Company. So I'm going to let Peter start talking and tell you a little bit about his background.
Yeah, so, you know, we're,
Take a look at the before and after on these pictures.
Thanks.
so Seaport Shutter is sort of focused on preservation, you know, remodel preservation.
Yeah.
We do architecturally correct shutters out of Wood Products Company. We do mahogany screen doors, things like that. We're very busy with that. And so, as I say, I work hard at protecting my customers from themselves, because they tend to want to do things that maybe don't make sense, but that's just the way it goes. So basically, you know, we've done a lot of work here. We've restored that building. When we bought that Brewster Garage, it was basically a contaminated, abandoned building. We did the 21E cleanup. The groundwater was contaminated. They had been hosing down the garage floors for years.
Wow.
We took the lifts out. We poured new floors. We redid the exterior, did new roof, fitted up the inside, and put it on stream as a business location. So that's sort of how we think about things. We like to take things that are there and improve them, make them better. We don't like to knock things down. There's a couple of other photographs, I think, Bill, you have those.
I'm gonna hand these out. There was a, and I remember the Brewster Garage when it was in its day, and it wasn't pretty, right? And they really, and we used to go there.
What was the year of the renovation? Because,
Of Brewster Garage?
95.
yes.
I bought the building in '97.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I remember it when it wasn't occupied.
Yeah.
And watched it
Yeah, it
get
was-
renovated,
I mean,
so.
Bob Drummond was the owner. He was basically, had been reduced to doing oil changes on weekends.
I remember when it was
Little
active.
for ladies, and that was it. I mean, he was done,
Thanks.
and
Oh, the hen house.
but it's a fabulous building. It's got so much history. If you look at that, the interesting thing, if you looked at that picture of the old picture of it, it was, believe it or not, in the early 1900s, a Studebaker dealership, and a Hupmobile dealership. And if you don't know what a Hupmobile is, you should Google it when you get a minute, because they existed for about 20 years. They built the most beautiful Al Capone type getaway cars, I guess, maybe. And they lasted for 20 years, but there's a car club, and we're trying to get the car club to come to Brewster and set up their cars in the back parking lot.
That's great.
And have their annual meeting there, so, but that was the building, and we spent a lot of time trying to really bring it back to what it was.
That is
You did a
cool.
great job.
Is that it?
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring,
The Mobile?
Yeah, that's cool.
They're amazing. They're really amazing.
I'm gonna bring us back to C Street, though.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, behind the existing house, there was a shed, and the Malones refurbished the shed into the hen house. Okay? So that's the picture number one. Then behind the hen house, it looks like a renovation because it fits in so well. No, they built that from scratch. That was not a renovation, but to show you that that they built it so that it blended in with the
Nice.
existing architecture of the residents and the neighborhood, even the little curves on the roof at the end. So that's the type of work that they do, and would like to do to this house that they've owned for 30 years. So it's just to review the elements. There's been nothing, this house is more than 100 years old, but it's not in a historic district. And there's been, other than the Malones, there have not been any historically noteworthy people that have resided there. There's nothing of significant political, cultural, economic, or social history of the town. Granted, it's part of the sail loft culture back in the 1850s, and three-masted schooners and whaling and the like. And it does have the turret, which I said we're not touching that. We know that that's the focal point, that's the key piece of that whole house. So we're looking for the commission to make a finding, which always sounds contradictory to me, that it's non-significant. This is an insignificant house. I think it's very significant, but you have to make we're hoping you make a finding of non-significance in that the proposed demolition and the proposed work would not destroy or substantially diminish the historical significance of the structure. When you look at what it's going to look like when it's done, I think it's even better than when they start.
Yeah, this, just by way of mentioning, this
Yeah,
is,
that gets redone, yeah.
pardon me?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
This gap is not gonna be there. This is gonna be a continuous dormer. Just to make it, get rid of that valley that might be a problem.
Here, I'm just looking at the windows.
Well, right, so let me tell you about the windows. So the original windows, there's two original windows left on the property, in the kitchen. They're 2/2 double-hung windows. We're going to, all the new windows being put into any of the expansion in areas that are touched by the expansion are all gonna be replaced. Right now, they're 1/1, not great, but they're gonna be 2/2. That's in phase one. In phase two, all of the other existing windows in areas that are untouched by this project will get replaced with 2/2. So that'll go back to the original look. Although these show 2/1, the plan is for 2/2. The house just needs, the house needs to be brought up to a more of a livable condition. The floor, I mean, if you put a golf ball on the floor, it takes off on its own.
Yeah.
It's across the room in a second. So, it's, there's no insulation there, and every spring we get animals underneath there, critters, and, you can't even be in there for 3 weeks because something doesn't survive the winter. It's not good. Now's the time to do it, and to get it, for the future, to make it strong and, steady for the future.
So the windows are gonna go back to this? Be like this?
Yeah, that's 2/2, yeah.
All right, questions from the board?
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun
No,
there.
that's okay. Questions from the board? Brendan, you want to start?
No, great job, great presentation. I mean,
Thank you.
history lesson, full-scale model. You're saving the environment in Brewster. I mean, I wish we had a medal. But we can only give you an approval, so I hope you'll be fine with that. No, I think it's great. Windows always come up. And did you have a spec for the window?
It's an Anderson 400, 2846 is a number that comes to mind.
Just the 400 series?
400 series till, till wash and all that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Excellent. No, great presentation. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Bob?
Yeah. Yeah, you certainly set a new standard for everybody else.
I know, right?
It makes our job so much easier.
Right, yeah.
It does, the visual.
Yeah, in regards to the chimney, I noticed that, I don't like getting rid of chimneys on principle, but I noticed that at some point it was rebuilt and it's a different top on
It is, yeah.
it than originally.
Yep.
And you really can't see it from C Street unless you go beyond, so
No.
I have no issue with removing the
I
chimney.
drove down, couldn't see it.
What about all the materials? Are they going to be shingled? Some,
Red cedar roof,
yeah,
shingled sidewalls.
yeah.
I use wood around I don't use AZAC necessarily, but I
Oh.
use wood. I like wood.
Yeah, that's fine. We
No,
we approve of AZAC, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
You'd rather have AZAC, but I
No,
mean.
no, 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 it's up to you.
If it is, it has to be painted
Yeah.
and not filled with the caps. Just
Yeah, I mean,
basic
people don't
painting.
realize you gotta paint AZAC.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
paint it.
Yeah, so people don't, they think you put it up, it's white, it's like that for
Yeah.
everything. So we like wood, we
Yeah.
do wood. The decking here is gonna be, probably mahogany. I'm not gonna use Trex or anything like that, I don't think. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much, those are the materials. It's gonna be, it's gonna be like it was, really, I mean.
Right.
like it
And you
should
put
be.
on a wood cedar.
Yeah, we just redid the roof 2 years ago.
With wood cedar.
With cedar. The back building is all cedar. The back building, it's actually interesting. People come to see it, or guests or whatever, and they'll say, "Well, you did a great job renovating this barn." And I say, "It's not a renovation."
Yeah.
I mean, we've got the old wooden floors with the nail holes in them out there. It's pretty spectacular.
Nice.
If I may say so myself. So,
We have the question.
yeah.
Any other questions? Are there any?
See it, it's like awesome.
Any
Doesn't that help?
questions?
Yeah.
Questions or comments from the public?
I can attest, being familiar with the family, what they've done already is quite lovely. It really is. And the model's beautiful, so
Yeah.
if you as a board don't see any issues, I think it could be an asset to C Street.
All right. I'm assuming no other comments? Then if the board is ready, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Motion's been made by Lynn, seconded by Julie. All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. All right. Who would like to take a stab at this one? Brendan, who's started?
I would,
Motion to approve case HH 2022-17, filing date 8/16/22, hearing date 9/21/22. Map and parcel is 27 C Street, map 7, parcel D9. Owners are Peter and Marcia Malone. BCRD is book 7500, page 93. The building is over 100 years old. It is, the demolition proposal is partial. It is listed in the town historic inventory.
and add, it's also Macris,
It's also Macros, yes.
HRW-367,
RW 367.
yes.
The demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value. Determination, no demo delay, period imposed. Conditions, I think the only conditions we talked about is that all the materials that are going to be used are like for like, which is going to be cedar, mahogany decking, red cedar for roof, 400 series windows, but we can leave it as like for like.
I don't know that it is like for like.
Yeah, because
it's
you're
changing
changing the windows. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, changing the
Right,
windows.
so,
Yeah, so it would be
Change to 2/2 eventually.
2/2.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
do
where
you
you're
have
gonna-
the option to go 2/1 if I decide, or is that?
I don't care.
if the board doesn't care, we could put in either.
Yeah,
I
put
don't-
So
either.
either 2/1 or 2/2.
You can assess what it really looks
Yeah,
like.
when you have a chance, take a look at the, we could talk more about this in the board, the 400 series.
Yeah.
There's the 400 series window, which is the tilt wash.
Yeah.
Then there's the Woodwright. And the Woodwright has more of a historic look where the sash on the outside isn't applied. You'll see it bumps out a little bit, the glass, the
Yeah, yeah,
glazing.
yeah.
Where the Woodwright comes right in, it really looks more
Is it
historic.
clad on the outside?
Yep, same, it's actually a step up on the Fibrex. They're, proprietary,
My
Extruded
wife's also
PVC.
spending more money on the
Well, yeah,
windows.
just take a look, you'll see the difference. When you see them side by side,
Give her the opportunity.
you'll see the difference, and it might be,
All
I
right.
don't know what the cost would be, but it's worth, it's still in the 400 series.
I'm familiar with it, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with
Mhm.
it. Does
So-
that tilt though? Does the Woodwright tilt?
I don't,
I hope it's a double tilt, I believe it does. I think it's in the sash lock, I'm not sure. Just something to look at.
I just want to make sure I got all of the materials, cedar, mahogany, red cedar on the roof, 400 series, or, do you want to say, or Woodwright?
Yep. 2/2.
2/1 or 2/2.
Right.
And you were going to veneer the foundation?
Brick veneer on the
brick veneer.
exposed form, the
And-
cement.
And trim around the windows could either be wood, whatever lifespan or what have you, or AZAC. But AZAC painted.
Would be wood or painted AZAC.
I'd say probably the rake boards and all that will probably be, blood and stuff.
So we'll say that the trim can be either or, as long as, if it's AZAC, that it's painted. Anything else? All right, we have a motion. Do we have a
Second.
second? So it's been moved by Brendan, seconded by Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great job, thank you.
Thank you for the history lesson.
You're welcome.
That was great, actually.
I love
Please,
it.
please leave the model.
Tell you everything.
Sounds like there's a book in your retirement.
Right, right. There's a sequel to that, which is kind of cool if you want to hear it.
Sure.
That my great-grandfather, when he came back, got a job on Great Western Road where the oil company is. It's now Tasha. Well, back then it was Saucony, Southern Oil Company of New York. Later became Exxon and Mobil. So my grandmother told me his job, he delivered oil for the oil company on Great Western Road for Saucony for the Lower Cape, and he had a horse-drawn carriage with a metal tank on it, and he went from here to Provincetown,
Wow.
and she said he carried cash in one pocket and a revolver in the other
He
pocket.
did, I believe it.
Wow.
But he got paid in part with Saucony oil stock, which she later inherited, and she had a bundle of ExxonMobil
Oh, yeah.
stock from
Nice.
that.
Oh, boy.
which
Those
helped with the nursing home.
Those are the best kind, right? Unfortunately, that it goes to the nursing home.
Well, it didn't. I think people know. At 98, she said, I'm gonna check out so that my sons can inherit it, and then you don't have to sell it and pay a huge capital gains tax.
There you go.
If you inherit it, they step up the
Yeah,
basis,
of course,
all that
they-
stuff.
of course.
Anyway,
And I can't imagine someone jumping on a boat in that era.
oh, at 11 years old
To
to
Australia.
Australia?
That's
And
crazy.
from Cape Cod, if you think, I mean, it's a bad enough trip if you're going from Southern California, I would imagine, never mind. Right?
That's crazy.
Great, thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. All right. So the next item on our agenda are meeting minutes, which in the pile that I just dropped everywhere, I'm not sure that I'm gonna find. So it looks like we have meeting minutes from May.
June and July.
I don't have May.
I see June.
May's very thick.
Yes, and
'Cause it's got all
July
this stuff.
13th. So do we have a motion to
July.
approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
All right, Bob's made a motion to approve the minutes for May 11th, June 3rd,
22nd.
June
22nd.
22nd, sorry, and
July
July 13th. Is there a second?
Second?
Brendan, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on our agenda. So we have a discussion about 203 Bank Street. Mr. Rigo, from the Harwich Fire Association, thanks for hanging in with us tonight.
Oh, no problem, you guys ran an efficient meeting.
The old fire station, right?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
Do you have a full-scale model?
I gotta talk to that guy. I wanted to ask him if he's gonna put shutters in that house. Give me 1 second. I can't give a history lesson like Mr. Kroll, but I have pictures. Hopefully I can tell a story.
Oh, wow.
I can remember the noon alarm.
The
Wow.
most comments we get is the old horn.
Yeah.
And I heard,
Sure.
I know rumors that is gone. That got scrapped years ago. But my name is Joe Rigo. I'm representing the Harwich Fire Association, and we are in the process of purchasing 203 Bank Street, the old fire station. And I want to thank you guys for hearing me out here. We're looking for support for a CPC application. We're looking to historically restore the exterior of this building. The Harwich Fire Association, we have a mission. We really kind of help the members of the fire department and members who have retired from the fire department with things that the town doesn't normally provide. We've helped a lot in the community with donations and of AEDs and things like that. We help with education. But the mission really is kind of where I use the abbreviation. We're like the booster club to the firefighters or the fire department. In closing of this property, which we hope to be next month, we would like to get the application in before the October 3rd date. And we look to re-roof it, retrim it, re-side it, a new sign, some exterior lights, new windows, doors, garage doors. That's as far as we've gotten. We're fundraising to continue further stuff inside, and we are co-purchasing it with the Conservation Trust. So with them, we're going to look into the landscaping and such because they have their access point to the Cold Brook Preserve.
So presumably you'll be sharing parking and things with
Yeah,
them.
we're going to co-own the property. We're working on the details of that now with Attorney Kroll. And yeah, so they're more into the parking. We do shared parking is what we're looking to do, and they're definitely into their access point. We own, I'll go through the pictures in a second. We own, this building is 1928, 1929. And the history is, in 1927, the town bought a fire truck is a 1928 Maxim, first fire truck of the town, which then made the fire department for the town. We own that truck. We've owned that truck for a while. The longest story is we've owned it, it went away, we lost it, we found it, we redid it. It's beautifully been restored. It does have some mechanical issues, but our membership has just agreed to pay some money to get that mechanically running. We want it, that is our flagship. So we're getting that going, and then this is really some place where we'd like to house this truck. The reason is this building was built for that truck. So they ordered the truck. They didn't have a building. It had to stay in Kroll's garage down by the building next to Cumberland Farms. That was, I guess, old Kroll's garage. So they kept the truck there until this building was complete. So it's kind of a historical connection. So that's our main thing, is we really want to fix this up, get that truck in there, get some doors where you can see the vehicle, and start to create the Harwich Fire Association's kind of main building instead of being kind of a ghost ship.
Do you see it turning into a museum at all?
So the main goal in our RFP was active as a museum. The main part of the museum is to display this antique fire truck. Over time, we're collecting as much as we can. I don't know how fast that's going to work, but yes, we want to make it maybe like a rentable hall with patches, old helmets, old nozzles. I mean, the fire guys get pretty nostalgic with this stuff. Most of them take it to their own home and put it in their basement bar. But if I can get it out of those bars, so that's a plan. The first building, the first picture I want to show you, that sign. I hate to tell you, I have secondhand knowledge from a person that saw that sign get cut in two and thrown in the dump, and it kills a lot of us. But I've talked to a wood sign maker in town, or P-Town, Jeff, I forget his last name. He's looking at these pictures, and he's looking at recreating this sign. Instead of writing Harwich Fire Department, I asked if he could write Harwich Fire Association. That's something we'd be going through into the Cpc application. The garage doors, we were looking to get quotes on outswinging doors like this. I don't know if it'd be full glass or if it'd be half glass like this picture. Full glass would be nicer for us. We could show the piece off, but this would be more original. That brick foundation is that thick, old, real brick. It's stuccoed over now, and you can see it. There's some spots broken out, but if we were to do the project, we'd brick veneer at least the front to make it look like a historical building. The second picture just shows this is the first fire department. The first truck is on the right. The second truck was a used truck they bought later. There's that sign. Nobody knows who that kid is in the picture. We wish we did.
Somebody's kid, right?
Somebody's kid living there. Yeah. Here's an old picture, cool with the, back in the day. I think this was, 45. The trees are gone. Here's a horrible picture of what it looks like right now. This was taken directly from the RFP. So you see there's an addition off to the left here. That was made for the ladder truck, I believe, in the 60s, late 60s. We would like to keep that. I mean, once you get in there and you see the square footage, you start to enjoy it. We'd like to keep that and just make the three doors look the same. Story with the window above that is that I wish it was still there. I guess the chief's desk had to go through that window on that addition because it didn't fit anywhere else. And then they put the window in. So when we started to inquire, we looked into it, and we went up there, we said, where's that desk? It's gone. I don't know where it went. I don't know if somebody cut it or whatever, but it's gone. It would have been beautiful to have that.
Along with the sign.
Along with the sign and the horn that was brass and, oh yeah. So you see the side of the building there is stuccoed over. Some windows have been boarded and et cetera. We would like to make that more clean, straight windows, one door, stuff like that. Here's kind of a concept in the last picture. It's a draft, it's a concept. We'd brick veneer the front, we'd try to shingle the sides, retrim it, white or red, reshingle it, re-window and door it. And basically, I'm at your mercy. Whatever you guys recommend is what we were interested in doing. We're trying to preserve some history here, and we want to work with you guys on that, and we'd like if you guys would work with us. And that's my presentation. I'm here for any questions or comments or suggestions or guidance.
So my first comment is I think it would be appropriate for us to consider a motion in support of the project as far as their CPC application is concerned. I would entertain that motion if.
I would definitely move that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Support
So-
for the CPC application.
So Bob has made the motion. Who's seconding?
Second.
Brendan's seconding. And the motion is to support the Harwich Fire Association's CPC application to restore the old fire station. On Bank Street. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
I think it's very interesting that the dormers were right there from the very beginning.
So, yeah, it was made, it's not current in today's firefighting world, but you lived above your
Right.
quarters. It was a spatial thing, you know, build a garage and live above.
Oh, I remember.
Nowadays, because of, you know, diesel fuel and all that exhaust, it's gone. And some of the young guys, they don't understand that. They're like, why, we got so much extra space, why can't we move stuff up there? It's not good anymore, that's a lot of cancer.
Just out of curiosity, I know after the fire department stopped using this, the Donald Ryder and the
Harbor Master.
Hmm?
The Harbor Master.
harbor
Harbor
master
master.
moved in there. Is any of that stuff still in there?
There is some stuff in there. We've walked through, there's not much of worth historically or value that we see in there. It's a lot of trash.
I know there was a picture in there that of Donald Ryder.
I am not interested to get rid of anything that's historical in there. I definitely welcome you guys when we take ownership to come walk through with us and help us point out some things. But I find since '96 when they moved out of there till now, I feel like that was a good place to leave some trash. That's what I see. But my membership is very strong on. I mean, like we've mentioned, like you mentioned and I mentioned, it's going to be a historical type museum type place for us. So. We're not looking. We'd like to cherish anything in there that's.
Cool.
What's the name so I can look that up or ask?
Donald Ryder. This is more of a personal thing that I'm asking.
Donald Ryder.
Yeah, he was my husband's stepdad.
And what did he do? He was a firefighter.
No, he was a assistant harbor master.
Assistant harbor master. And there was a picture in there, you believe? Mm-hmm. Was it a painting or just a photograph?
I believe it was a photo.
I can check with John Rendon on that also. In your Lynn?
Yep. Zalisak.
I'll take a look. I'll ask some of the senior members, and I'll talk to John Rendon about that.
Okay, thanks.
So I guess my next question, folks, I guess whenever you want to come back before us.
So my next step would be a letter of intent, or an application of intent?
For CPC or
No,
for this?
well,
So
it
you're
must
not
not-
100 years
no.
you're not 100 years of age.
So once you support my CPC article, does it become a historical,
It would still, if the CPC board still finds that it's historic, which I can't imagine that they wouldn't,
yeah,
it would, you would be able to seek some of the money from the CPC
yep,
funds, not only the historic funds, but the undesignated funds
okay,
for an application. So if you're looking to put an application forward, that deadline is pretty specific.
yep.
It's the Friday, I think.
I got
It's
it, yep.
The first or the third. I thought it was the first.
The
but-
third is this year, because of the
so-
weekend.
So you can just note on that application that we took a vote on today's date to support your,
Okay.
to support the project that you're pursuing.
You know,
So-
that's interesting. What's the street address?
203 Bank Street is the structure's address.
The structures?
It's technically 4 lots at the moment.
Right.
We're co-purchasing all 4 lots.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're just-
Unsold houses next door to it.
What is it,
203 Bank Street.
Okay. Yeah, it's not listed. I thought it could have been in Macris, but it's not, because Macris doesn't have to be over 100 years old, but that
Yeah,
would
and we're
be-
close,
That'd
and
be a designation to make it historic, or it doesn't make it officially historic, but it's at least listed as historic
so
property.
if I don't have to come before your commission for the renovation of the exterior, do you have any suggestions you guys can give me to look for? I mean, you seem to be the window guy.
I
I
mean,
heard-
you can always come back in front of us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
that's
just a
the-
building permit you're gonna be going after.
Right,
So you
right.
won't be in front of us again.
So,
But you're, yeah, no, we'd
But,
love to
so,
see.
and that's my comment, like, if you're looking for input on your design,
yeah,
we're happy to put you on an agenda,
okay.
anytime, just.
Old
let-
business or new business? Or?
Either,
Could be new
it'd
business.
probably be new business,
Okay.
right, because you don't have an open application before us, but yeah, we're
Yeah,
happy
I
to,
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
happy to make comments.
Is,
Always.
just because I'm here, I don't want to waste your time too much, but like asphalt roof, is that okay? And then,
Architectural,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they sold 3-tab anymore.
yeah.
Windows though, Anderson, you said Anderson 400 to the guy before, and what was the wood?
Wood-
It's called Woodwright, so
Woodwright.
just look at the Anderson windows, I mean, there's so many series, but 400,
400 is
Woodwright, A
common.
series, those would be your options. E series is all their custom windows.
Any light pattern you think is appropriate for 1928?
I mean, you have it right here, you have this.
They have like 6 over 6, it looks like.
over,
Yeah, old colonial 6 over
there's a
6.
6 over 1.
Yeah, how is it? The top, the upper window is a shell.
Yeah,
Was it 6 over 1?
it might be a 6 over 1.
Might be
That's what it
6
looks
over
like.
1. I don't know if there's any side pictures or.
Bob, thoughts? Well, it's in your drawing, you have 6 over 1.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it is 6.
My guy copied that,
So
but
that's September, you would
Okay.
see
I
the,
think it's 601 in this
Yeah.
picture.
That's what it looks like.
6 over
Yeah.
1.
you know, that September 8, 1945 picture, I mean, they probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have the windows, maybe they would have the windows open, it's, I don't know.
Well, those huge one.
Right. So I'll try to recreate 6 over
Yeah, I mean,
1.
you're doing the
It's
sign,
6
the
over
brick veneer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
6 over 1.
Yeah. I mean,
You guys have any concern with cedar shingles on the side of the building where it used to be brick all around?
Can you
So
get to the brick?
I probably could.
Just curious.
No, I probably could. It's not a nice West Barnstable type brick. It's
No.
more of a structural brick.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah. The foundation is the brick.
It's the working brick, it's not the,
Yeah.
it's not the finish.
I think these
You
guys
peel
got.
back that sheathing.
I
it's
think
gonna be
these guys
interesting.
got together and they just put this up, in half a year's time. But if I did the front, I'd like to use regular brick veneer to make it look like, real
Nice.
natural sized bricks. But you guys don't see any concern if we shingle the side of the building and, okay, 'cause that'd make it easier for like lighting and outlets
The
and.
doors are beautiful though.
The
Yeah.
doors we looked at, we went to, what's it called? Overhead door. They gave us 2 quotes, a regular door, which we didn't like, and they gave us a swing out door. And as soon as we got that back, we go, oh. And it was full light, top to bottom, red frame, and it's a more modern construction. It's not wood. I think it's aluminum, but
yeah.
it'll look
They'll look great.
temporary. Yeah. Let me think if I have any other questions. I also, just so you know, in the CPC article, the front ramp of that is a cement ramp, and we're getting estimates on removing the cement ramp. That cement ramp was put in specifically because the ladder truck had to go in at a certain angle, or it hit the ceiling. So we're looking to remove that and replace it with like a nice cobblestone apron. So.
There you go. Nice. That'd be great.
You good?
All right, I
Awesome to see
will.
it.
I'll pass on to the CPC, see what happens, and I'll probably come see you guys over the winter and
Sounds good.
talk
That'd be
We're
about
here.
the future of a fun summer.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the last item on our agenda is to deal with our CPC appointment. Bob is our current CPC rep. No, I'm on the
No,
planning board.
planning.
I'm the planning board rep.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right,
Because
so
I
you're
can't
on
get off of
planning
these
board.
boards, so,
But you're on CPC too.
You're on
Yes.
all the boards.
so Bob and I are both on CPC, but Bob is in need of a reappointment, so if there are no objections, I would entertain a motion to
Motion to.
reappoint Bob as our CPC rep.
Motion
Second.
to reappoint.
Does Bob want to be on?
Sure.
So we've got a motion from Brendan, seconded from
Lynn?
Thank you. Good luck.
to reappoint Bob to the CPC. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. Woo-hoo, Bob, you're official again.
Well, no, now I have to go to the selectmen again.
It's,
No, because their appointment letter, it ended last year. It's very bizarre.
you do have to go to, you probably do have to go to them, but they have been voting.
Oh, yeah.
They've been, yeah, they've
Yeah,
just
I
been
know,
voting.
it's no problem, it's
Yeah,
just
no,
formality.
Can't back up now, Bob. You
exactly,
already
you already
voted.
voted.
Yeah.
It's a done deal.
So,
Motion to adjourn.
nope,
Oh,
you didn't turn over your page.
oh, sorry.
Sorry. Very quickly, this is for the historic properties.
Yep,
I have the list that we're going to submit as a,
fantastic.
for the, whatever, what do you call it? The
The
bid
historic inventory
process,
list,
the
yep.
inventory list. I'll pass it out. This is what
All
we're going
right.
to try to go for. There are 253
Wow.
properties, and they only need the history part for the Macris done.
Awesome.
So we'll see how if we have enough money. I think we need one more. Well, do you need?
There you go.
Yeah.
Take that.
These
So
ones we
that-
took the pictures for.
No,
No, that's
we
different.
we don't have enough money
This
to
is what
do
was
that.
missing from
This one was
before.
missing.
This is what was missing, so these are important to get into the
This
database.
is what's driving me crazy in my
Yes,
other thing.
it is, yes.
So this will fix what wasn't done before.
Right, correct.
Wow.
Well, there's still little odds and ends, but this is the main part that will get they can't go into Macris even though we have all the architectural detail, because Macris no longer accepts it without history.
So it needs both.
So it needs the history. It's got the architectural, just needs
So
history.
are we doing anything with this?
No, that's just for your information, that this is what I'm submitting to the town
To help
write
with
up
the
bid spec.
RFP.
Bid spec, RFP, that's what I was thinking. Yep. So that's it.
Fabulous. Thank you. We were scheduled to have our report to to Selectmen this week. I punted for another date, so I will let you know when our annual meeting comes up with them for a report. And other than that, I would say I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay,
Who do I contact? What,
I will take care of that.
what, you're on
Email me,
All right.
because we have all sorts of new people.
Okay.
So I'll take care of that. Just email me and I will remember to forward it on. Okay? Then,
Okay.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion's been made by Bob, seconded by Julie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none. And I'm gonna ask a favor. Is there somebody that would mind running me out to West Harwich so that Cindy can go home?
What's that?
I need a ride home.
Oh, I'll take you. I'll take you.
Thank you.